like to say good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
I'm going to be reading Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter. Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Okay. Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter, and I will be reading out of a Holy Name Bible, containing the Holy Name version of the Old and New Testaments, critically compared with ancient authorities and various manuscripts, revised by the late A.B. Trainer of the Scripture Research Association. At that time Yahweh said unto me, Hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and come up unto me into the mountain, and make thee an ark of wood. And I will write on the tables of the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest, and that thou put them in the ark. And I will make an ark of shittim wood, and hew 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and went up into the mount, having 2 tables in mine hand. And he wrote on the tables according to the first writing, the 10 commandments, which Yahweh spoke unto you in the mount, out of the midst of the fire, in the day of the assembly. And Yahweh gave them unto me. And I turned myself and came down from the mount, and put the tables in the ark, which I had made, and there they be, as Yahweh commanded me. And the children of Israel took their journey from the wells of the children of Jaakan to Moseriah. There Aaron died, and there he was buried. And Eleazar his son ministered in the priest office in his stead. From thence they journeyed unto Gugadha, and a Gugadha to Jothbath, a land of rivers of waters. At that time Yahweh separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, to stand before Yahweh to minister unto him, and to bless his name unto this day. Wherefore Levi had no part nor inheritance with his brethren. Yahweh is his inheritance, according as Yahweh thy Elohim promised him. And I stayed in the mount according to the first time 40 days and 40 nights, and Yahweh hearkened unto me at that time also, and Yahweh would not destroy thee. And Yahweh said unto me, Arise, take thy journey before the people, that they may go in and possess the land which I swore unto the fathers to give unto them. And now Israel, what doth Yahweh thy Elohim require of thee, but to fear Yahweh thy Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve thy Elohim, to serve Yahweh thy Elohim with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of Yahweh and his statutes which I commanded thee this day for thy good. Behold, the heaven and the heavens of heavens is Yahweh thy Elohim. The earth also with all that therein is. Only Yahweh had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. For Yahweh your Elohim is a mighty El, and sovereign of sovereigns, a great El, mighty and terrible, which regardeth not persons, nor taketh bribes. He doth execute the judgments of the fatherless and the widow, and loveth the stranger, in giving him food and raiment. Love ye therefore the stranger, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Thou shalt fear Yahweh thy Elohim, him thou shalt serve, and to him shalt thou cleave, and swear by his name. He is thy praise, and he is thy Elohim, that hath done for thee these great and terrible things which thy eyes have seen. Thy fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons, and now Yahweh thy Elohim hath made thee as the stars of heaven for a multitude. I just read Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter.
I want to announcement, the brethren from the sponsoring the Chicago seminar this April. If wanted everybody to know that if you are going to be attending the seminar, and your plans have changed as far as when you're going to be arriving, to let them know down there. If you made reservations for the hotel where the seminar is being held, and you changed your mind, or you're going to alter your reservations, let the hotel know. For example, if you originally checked in on a Thursday, and then you show up on a Friday, if you don't get a hold of the hotel, they're going to give your room to somebody else. They're going to count you as a no-show. So make sure you get a hold of the hotel and you change your plans. And like I say, if you're not going to attend the seminar, let the brethren, my requests, know that you're not going to attend, because they want to have a head count of how many people are attending. And our speaker will be our Dean Dr. Allen Jr.
Good morning, everyone. You take a question, take your home days. We're continuing our subject matter. And this has really been a real, since Friday night. I got a call from Ohio. We got a call from Arizona. They all talking about the tabernacle and the trips of Moses in the mountains. And the question they're asking, they want your permission to tape, so I'm going to try some way to try it. We don't have anybody, well, I guess there are too many people that haven't been here the past couple days, couple classes. I think we'll see you. Anyhow, bear with me and I'll get things set here. I want to go back over the second trip. The time Messiah was down between the second and third trip. And back up on the third trip. Now, may I get it all done today, but I'm going to try to. But if you can follow along, we'll see now. Let me ask right now, are there any questions before I get started? Is there any questions I got some good about this?
I just wanted a clarification of what you got into Friday night regarding Numbers, the 16th chapter, as to when that event took place. Because I know at least 3 of us got the impression that you were saying that that occurred in between the 40-day period between Moses going up on the second and the third trip. 3 of us got that impression. I wanted a clarification.
Deuteronomy 11.
4.
Deuteronomy 11. Start reading about the 5th verse and read out verse 3. Now remember, it's got to read the 10th chapter. Let me ask you, what was in that chapter?
Deuteronomy?
In Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter, give me the 8th and 9th verses, real quick. We're going to do this real quick, and then we'll go back where we're going to really get into.
Deuteronomy 10 and 8. At that time, Yahweh separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, to stand before Yahweh to minister unto him, and to bless in his name unto this day.
Read.
Wherefore Levi hath no part nor inheritance with his brethren. Yahweh is his inheritance, according as Yahweh thy Elohim promised him. I stayed in the mount according to the first time, 40 days and 40 nights. And Yahweh hearkened unto me at that time also, and Yahweh would not destroy them.
What I'm trying to get clarified is this. What trip was that?
Third trip.
That's the third trip. Are you with me on that? Third trip. 10th chapter of Deuteronomy. Now go to the 11th chapter. Let's start about the 6th, 7th, 8th. Let's read out. I'll have time to read everything down, please.
Deuteronomy 11 and 6, 11 and 5. And what he did unto you in the wilderness until you came unto this place, and when he did unto Dathan, unto Abram, the sons of Eliab, the sons of Reuben.
Now, let's go back over there again so everybody follows, because everybody may not be a good talking about it. You mentioned some people's names you don't hear too often in lectures and all, so. What I'm saying, the question being asked, because I think the way I brought it up was about the confusion, and I should have better the way. question was being asked, well, I was talking about between the second and third trips. I was talking about this. And I asked a question during this time, well, when did y'all separate Levi from the rest of the tribes? Now, I said that during that period, during the time, the second trip and the third trip. And that's why I asked the question.
Right.
And after class was over, everybody assumed that this happened between those two times.
It was me.
That did not happen between the two. So raise that out of your memory and then put this back in your memory now.
We assumed it because it was brought up.
I understand, that's what I'm saying, I try to explain it that way, that's right. This is class participation is welcome, so don't worry about it. And I got certain things in my mind I want to try to convey to you, and if I don't get to it, let's just deal with it next time, that's all.
So the short of it is that did not happen.
That did not happen, no, not between those two trips, no.
When did it happen?
That's going to keep you from getting to these trips.
Well, that's really what happened after that, after the third trip.
After the third trip, okay.
I kept trying to find a way to pinpoint that for you so you can be able to see that. When you read the 11th chapter, that was after the 10th chapter, so I mean after the third trip. That's maybe trying to make it that way. So you see that he brings it up after that, so that's when the 8th day rose up. It was after the 8th day that the core rose up that Yahweh then separated Levi from the rest of the tribes. Does everybody understand that? After the 8th day, the core rose up against Moses about building the tabernacle. They were saying that Israel, Moses and Aaron had taken too much on themselves. They became too famous on the people. They didn't want that to happen. They wanted some of the responsibility. So they rose up against Moses and Aaron. And then Moses said, tomorrow you will know who Yahweh is for and who Yahweh is against. I'll put it that way. So he told them to get their belongings, get their things together, and come bring the incense. Now, you had 250 men that was rising up against Moses and them. And they brought the incensers to burn incense. So a lot of people carried incense, they had incense to burn. So when it came time for them to, the next day, you always say, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna choose between those that are rising up against it and those that Yahweh put in charge, talking about Moses and Aaron. So he's going to make a separation. So Moses just drew a line. Well, first he said anybody that was on Yahweh could step on this side. Anybody on the other side stay over there. So then they came out and they were ready to stand. They stand there in the tents. The wives and the children and all. And everything in the house possessed and all that. This is, if you want to know where this is in reading, if you read the 16th chapter of Numbers and the 17th chapter of Numbers.
16 and 17.
16 and 17, right. The 16th chapter is dealing with Nathan raising up. And when they did raise up and all, because they wanted to be more in charge of the priesthood, and the priest dealing with the tabernacle and all that, the priest. Now Levi, just trying to keep this thing so everybody can understand what's going on. Two of them that rose up, there was three that rose up that were spokesmen for the 250 people. Two of them from the tribe of Reuben. They had nothing to do with the tabernacle, the council tabernacle. Korah, he was a son of Levi. And some history, they were rising up against Moses. So you got a priest, and you got these two from Reuben. Reuben is the first tribe, the first son of Jacob. So they were rising up because they thought Moses was, I always said where you went in, too bossy. Tell them what to do, what they should do, what they should not do. And all he can all his commandments from Yahweh. But they just thought he was taking on himself. So Yahweh just said, Moses drew a line and said, all this on Yahweh said on this side, all on the other side. So now tomorrow, Yahweh's going to do something that's never been done before. See? And if it's in the world, man, if a man dies, it's just a normal death. It's not going to be the way it's going to be. It has to be an unusual death that's going to take place. So soon as they separated themselves, Yahweh caused the earth to open up, an earthquake, and just swallowed them all up in it. And they were swallowed in the earth, and the earth closed up. Then they settled on it. So then Moses went about to build the tabernacle where he saw it in the vision. But they thought, because they worked out in Egypt and built this temple, they said, well, this tabernacle is too flimsy the way it's made. We talked about doing it. They said, we're going to do it this way. And no, we're doing it the way Yahweh said. I hope if you're listen to what I'm trying to get across to you, is that I'm trying to show you how Yahweh is trying to instill the fear of Yahweh in them, that they will be obedient to him. And therefore, if they fear him, they will obey him and give obedience to him, if he would do that. See? So, you see where the struggle is going on. Yahweh is trying to get Israel to be obedient to him. And you're obedient to him. Now, can you go there in Numbers? The 16th chapter, read about the last 3 or 4 verses that we're talking about the number of people that was destroyed.
That'd be Numbers.
I didn't memorize the verse, so I can't remember. Take it that. So.
Numbers 16 and 49.
Okay.
Now they that died in the plague were...
They that died in the plague. Now there's a plague after after the men that frozen again, they were destroyed. Because the people still didn't believe, then Yahweh caused a plague to go through, killing the people during that time. Okay, read on.
Now they that died in the plague were 14,000.
14,000.
And 700. Besides them that died about the matter of Korah.
Besides them that died because not the matter of Korah. So the matter of Korah was 250 plus their wives and their children. So all of them were destroyed. Yeah, now we're talking about people that rise up against Yahweh. See, that makes you you don't want to be disobedient. Okay, now, is that understood now? This happened after the 3rd trip of Moses in the mountain. Okay, now, and when that happened, now the tribes of Israel, they still wanted to settle as who's going to be responsible to take care of the tabernacle. So the next chapter, the 17th chapter of Numbers, is where Yahweh is going to show who is going to be in charge of the tabernacle. So Yahweh had Moses to take the 12 princes of the tribes, as one from each tribe, take their staff and have them write their name on it. And he took the staffs and put them before Yahweh in the tabernacle, before the Ark of the Covenant. And the next morning, he went in there and pulled them out. One staff had budded, and grew, and had arms in it, almonds. Now that one was the tribe of Levi. So that meant the Levi tribe now is going to become the priesthood tribe among the 12 tribes of Israel. That's how you get the 12 tribes. That's how you got Levi's being the head of the tribe. Okay, you got that now. Okay. Any questions about that before I go any further? Yes.
So, you had mentioned that Moses was up in the mountain and he was being told by Yahweh Elohim that Aaron was going to be functioning in the tabernacle. At the same time, Aaron was down there orchestrating or overseeing the building of the golden calf.
Mm-hmm.
So, Moses, he already knew, this is a question, he already knew that which tribe was going to be taking care of the tabernacle, but they needed,
The congregation didn't know.
didn't know it. So that was a declaration by Yahweh, getting
To
all
settle
the
the
doubt.
argument with.
Right. Okay.
Anybody want to rise up and say, this is about Moses? See, you have two situations where they rose against Moses that we got recorded. This probably is in there because it just says that's it's known as this one is the two. The point we're trying to get you to see is that you got to be able to see that Yahweh is working with Israel. And the more you're able to perceive that and to understand that, then you see why Yahweh has such a light for Israel, I'll put it that way, because he chose them out from the other people. But at the same time, understanding this, what we're talking about, is really enlightening, I'll put it that way. And also shows the power of Yahweh to make himself known to whom he want to make himself known to. Yes, you got a question?
Yeah, I had a question. So at this time, we're saying that it's after the third trip, right? The Ark of the Covenant's already made because that was between the second and third trip.
Right.
So here in the Deuteronomy or Numbers 17 and 4, it said they laid these staffs in the tabernacle of the congregation before the testimony.
Mm-hmm.
So the testimony would be the Ark of the Covenant I'm taking, but they have this tabernacle of the congregation. All the rest of the structure was not done at this time, right? We only have the Ark of the Testimony or the Ark of the Covenant done at this time.
Right.
So my question is they're not using the other tent, are they, as to put this Ark of the Covenant in, are they?
Not this time, no. What do you ask about, so everybody be on the same page, but everybody understands? I'm going to have to talk about it anyhow, so I'm going to might as well deal with it. Can I come back to that question, Mr.?
Sure,
I want to bring up something before we get to that.
Absolutely.
Because what I want to talk about is going to involve that part. I got something else I want to bring up. The question was asked. This is what the question that the one I got on from Ohio was about, well, somebody talked from the floor there that Moses, while he's up in the mountain, he's able to see the cloud turn to a flower and see it turn back to a cloud. And he said he heard him say it, but he didn't challenge him at the time about it. Because he wanted to get his mind correct as to what was being said. I mean, what he understood to be right before he challenged him about it. So that's what he called me about, to verify, could Moses see the cloud change from far to I said, no, he could. He's inside the cloud. So y'all had to show him, to reveal to him a different way for him to know day and night. While he's up in the cloud. So you got Moses in the cloud. See? He's in the cloud, unaware of where it's on fire or where it's a cloud by day. He's just inside the cloud. They're down here looking at that. And you can get them in there. You can say, well, when it turns to a profile, he's being roasted now. But we don't know what's happening to him. And then after 10 days, they moved from the Plateau Mountains and went back down to the camp. Because in their mind, he's carried too long. So anyhow, Moses is inside the cloud. So when the cloud was going to change from daytime to nighttime, it turned to a little fire. But Moses up in the mountain, he's in darkness. He blacks out. We go this is on the 13th day of June. At evening. And during that night, he's seeing Yahweh divide the light from the darkness. He's calling the light day and the darkness he's calling night. You see that that's the first day of the trip. The first 24-hour period of time. Or I should say the first 18 hours of that day. Then at 9 o'clock, he would see, in his vision, he would see a priest go and snuff out the lampstand. Now you know it's daytime. And Yahweh then goes on in instruction about how to make vessels in the tabernacle. So that's how he's getting his information about the tabernacle. So that's why I'm trying to purify this thing of their creation by the pattern. Moses saw this creation come in by a tabernacle pattern. And in trying to relate that to you, I'm trying to show that Yahweh showing him day by day, and he's building this new tabernacle as it comes into existence, okay? So now, while he's up on top of the mount, he's seeing his creation. Get on down to the 6th day, and he sees the man created. And he sees the woman taken from the man on that same day. Yes.
Sorry, Freddie, I've got a question. What I understood you say right now was that Moses saw the first day of creation on June the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we teach about Joshua being born on June the 6th, and I always thought he would see the 6th day on June the 6th.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
6th day of his vision.
Out of the 6th day of his vision, okay.
That's when we go to the 6th day of his vision, not the 6th day
Not
of
the
time
6th of
in
June.
No.
Okay.
6th day of June is when they, see, let's put it together. You ask a question, let's try to clarify it. When they come to Mount Sinai, June 3rd, 19th chapter of Exodus, they didn't really know what to expect from the people. And even Moses brought that goes down. See? Now, realize at this point, they knew nothing about the creation. They didn't know nothing about Adam. Or Noah. They knew about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But they don't know much about them. They knew about it. Okay? But now, at this point, they come to this mountain. And Yahweh calls Moses to go over the mountain. The plateau of the mountain. He's talking to him on the plateau of the mountain, telling him to have Israel come together around the mountain. Then, let me just try to be real clear. See? Exodus 19 and 20. Going back over one more time so everybody's on the same page. And I know it's for one to understand it requires repeating, so we'll repeat it again.
That's a good question.
See? Okay. Lucy's question was dealing with when Moses saw Adam created, and we're trying to get you to see that it's not the same day.
Not the 6th day of June.
Not the 6th day of June. We hear now when we get here to Mount Sinai, so we got 19, 1 to 3 was right. They come to Mount Sinai on June the 3rd. It gets to the mount. The third month and the 3rd day. That's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
3rd month and the 3rd day says to be the 3rd day of June.
Right.
Okay. You meant to bring a calendar down. Anyhow. So that's the 3rd day of June. He's having him clean up and prepare himself for him to come before Yahweh on the 6th day of June.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he goes. Okay, that's why we have to read 19:20. Moses goes to the top of the mount, and Yahweh tells him to come up to be ready against the third day, you got to read all that down. Then you got to, when you get down through, let's just read it so everybody reads it. I'm trying to say it. I'm afraid somebody's gonna get messed up.
Can I?
Go ahead, yeah, you could summarize
Okay,
it.
so you're saying when they got to Mount Sinai, out of this 19th chapter of Exodus, it was June 3rd, the third month, which would be June, and the same day, which would be the third day.
Right.
Then Yahweh speaks to him, and he has the people to clean up, because Yahweh speaks to Moses, and Moses had the people to clean up, because Yahweh addresses them on June 6th.
Right,
Moses has not been up there in the mountain to see the vision of how Adam come in.
right.
So June the 6th does not correlate. I mean-
Third day of the vision, no, 6th day of the vision.
Right. So then on the 13th, when he's up there, then this is when Yahweh begins to show him how he created the man.
Right.
So it wasn't June. June 6th is dealing with the time or the date that Israel came into the wilderness and gathered around the mountain.
The point you want to make point about June the 6th is this. When Yahweh spoke from Mount Sinai, talking to Israel, which is fleshly men and women, carnal mind,
The whole congregation.
then Yahweh spoke, that's the word made flesh on June 6th. Because Yahweh gives the commandments to him. Can you take, I want to take time to do this, because I just find so amazing this book is something else. Get Deuteronomy 5. Fifth chapter, I'm talking about fifth chapter.
First verse?
I think about the fourth verse, fifth verse. I want to get where you're talking about. You come to Mount Sinai, God gives us a commandment. I think it's that fifth or sixth verse.
This is Deuteronomy 5 and 4. And Yahweh talked with you face to face in the mount out of the midst of
Okay, that's
fire.
all I want. Yahweh talked to Israel face to face from the mountain. Read.
Out of the midst of fire.
Out of the midst of fire.
I stood between Yahweh and you at that time.
Moses said he stood between Yahweh and them at that time. Read.
To show you the word of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
For you were afraid by reason of the fire, and went not up into the mount, saying, I am Yahweh thy Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Now see now what he's doing? He's recapping the Ten Commandments. Are you with me on that? This is the 5th chapter of Deuteronomy. Okay? And that ties in with the 20th chapter of Exodus. Okay? So now, after he's charged to clean up and get around the mountain, see, now go back to the Exodus, the 19th chapter. Pick up at 14th verse and read down.
Exodus 19 and 14. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people.
Yes, after he's being charged, then after come to the top of the mountain, come down. The order that you have in the 19th chapter is not in chronological order. See? Moses communes with him from the baptism mount, and then Yahweh calls him up to the top of the mount. And that's what we read in the 20th verse, and down there. Then I'm going back up here to the 3rd or 14th verse to come down now. He's coming down out of the mountain now. And you're going to hear the sequence of events that's going to happen. Okay, read.
And sanctify the people.
Go down and sanctify the people. Tell them get clean up, get ready to read.
And they washed their clothes.
They wash their clothes.
And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day.
Be ready against the third. It says, and this is June the 3rd. Third day is going to be June the 6th. Read.
Come not and your wives.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass on the third day in the morning.
So 3 days later, Early in the morning, it said early in the morning?
And it came to pass on the third day in the morning,
In the morning, okay.
that there were thunders and lightnings,
Mm-hmm.
and a thick cloud upon the mountain.
So now he has described that earlier in the chapter. You'll find that he said he was going to come down the eyes of the people, so that he might talk to them face to face. See? And that he's going to come in the form of a cloud and fire. See? And they will see it. That's what had happened. See? On the 6th day of June. And they're hearing the word of Yahweh, or the word made flesh, giving them the commandments on the 6th day of June. Okay? Now that's exactly 50 days from the time they come through the Red Sea. Okay. And that would be Pentecost. Okay. Now, after he spoke the law to them, you find he gives them some orders for him, Moses, to do, and then the people, they say, you go talk to Yahweh, whatever Yahweh said, we will do. So now they're making Moses now an intercessor between them and Yahweh, because they didn't want him to speak that way anymore. So after they did that, Moses goes back unto Yahweh. This is in the 20th chapter of Exodus, about 21 first verse. And he's communing with him. And he goes on down to the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd chapters, in the first 3 verses of the 24th chapter. All that Yahweh is telling him on the plateau of the mountain. On June 6th. Now he comes down from there and tells the people he has to dedicate the book, or as he comes down, he had to write down what he saw, where Yahweh told him, and that made he created a book. I was given all the judgments which you read in the 21st, 22nd, 23rd chapters. Okay. Now, that, I want to just go up, we'll get to it later on in lecture 23:20. Exodus 23:20.
In Exodus 23 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I send an angel before thee.
Now Yahweh is telling Moses this on the plateau of Mount, saying, behold, I send an angel before thee,
to keep thee in the way,
to keep thee in the way,
and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
and to bring you into the place which I have prepared for thee. Read.
Beware of him,
Beware of him,
and obey his voice.
obey his voice.
Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions.
Mm-hmm.
For my name is in him.
Now Moses does not know who that is yet. He's been talking with him, but don't know who he is. This is going back to the question that Tony asked two Fridays ago. So I'm trying to keep, always say, people asking questions, I'm trying to keep questions and try to give answers in the proper time. So at this time, see, he didn't know who the angel was going to go before him. Okay. Now, at the same time, we deal with the Messiah fulfilling. When the Messiah comes to John, John didn't know who the Messiah was, even though he was his cousin. But they all had a sign they had to see before they would be able to identify who the one they had to point out. Are y'all with me on that? Okay, keep that in mind. I'm going to come back to it. I had to bring it up in sequence. So now he comes down from the mount and he builds an altar as Yahweh told him to do, and he dedicates the book and the people with blood. Make it fine. And this is happening between the invitation of Moses, you come up with Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, the 70 others. That was also on the 6th. They don't carry that out until 7 days later, which would be June the 13th. And June the 13th is when they go up on the mountain. Moses, Aaron, and everybody in 70 others. And they see Elohim. Now this makes them, Levi and them, it makes them be aware that there is a supreme being or a superincorporeal form or a God. They have eyewitnessed that form now. They describe it in the 10th and 11th verses of that chapter. I'm trying to cut some things out. Okay, now, after once you understand that part now, during this year, the invitation will come up to the top of the mountain and them going up to the top of the mountain. You have these things happen where he's dedicating the people and making the people be, make the law be binding on them. Go ahead.
Sorry. He just made the statement that talks about Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, the 70 of Tobilah, in the first verse here, Exodus 24:1, but they don't go up until 7 days later.
Right.
Where do we have book on that? 17th chapter of Numbers?
Deuteronomy, give you Matthew 17th chapter, Deuteronomy 6th chapter, 7th chapter. Matthew is a fulfillment. Deuteronomy is a witness. Okay. You have Yahweh given Noah a commandment for him and his household to come into the ark. For yet 7 days is going to rain. Genesis 7:1. Down. That's a command. Yahweh's given Noah a commandment. Go in the ark and be there for 7 days, and then it's going to rain. So it meant that they were already at rest before the end of the age came. Which means you and I, we're supposed to be at rest in Yahshua's side before the age ends. Or you're supposed to be knowledgeable of him. Now, Matthew, the 17th chapter, when the Messiah comes and he takes Peter, James, and John to the mountain, it says after 6 days or the 7th day. After 6 days, after 6 days of what? Matthew the 5th chapter, the 6th chapter, the 7th chapter. After what they call the Beatitudes, when he goes back and refers to what Yahweh said on June the 6th, talking about the commandments. Have I lost anybody?
No. You're making everything much more clear.
Yes,
You just stuck Matthew the 5th chapter with the 17th chapter. Right. Why? I didn't catch that.
Go back to your title. What was first?
Israel at the Mount, there Nadab and Abihu, the institution of this
Where did that come?
on June the 3rd. Around June 3rd, 6th, when they were, what do you mean when did it come?
Sometimes I'm trying to get you to answer your own question. When you answer your own question, you know that.
Right.
Okay? So when did Israel hear the commandments?
The Beatitudes, Matthew the 5th chapter.
The children of Israel.
Children of Israel, they heard the law given to them on June the 6th. Now, I'm saying 7 days from that was when Moses took Aaron, they let him by you from the top of the mountain.
I'm with you now. I see it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's where you get the 7 days.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to implement 7 days.
Asking questions.
I went and got a type in the law and the prophets, and I got the Messiah come in and fulfill it. I'm trying to be obedient
Right.
to Isaiah 8:20, to the law and the testimony. And you all should keep me at it, on it too.
No, we don't.
Good.
Now, have you got, are there any more questions about that, so I can be sure? I don't want to move on, we don't understand something.
Lucy?
You could now?
I got asked that question last night, that's why I asked.
And this is really floating around
Right.
in the idea.
In Exodus, the 24th chapter, so after they hear the commandments, he's actually consecrating that commandment, or consecrating the covenant with the blood, correct?
Binding the covenant.
Or binding, thank you. That's even better, that's a better word. So he actually binds it there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they can go up and see everything else. Correct? Because now everything will come in type under spirit, that law.
He said, then Moses can go up and, what?
Because we've always been taught everything came in under the law. And that's just basic, I'm asking, that's a confirmation of that, when they bind that or seal that covenant there? That was my question, Fred.
He's binding, well, first of all, when Moses tells them what thus said y'all, they answered and said, all that y'all said we would do. Now he's making it binding. You all probably remember, and some of you, if you remember some of the old cowboy movies they had on there, they made an agreement with the Indian and all this. I mean, they smoke a peace pipe, or they sometimes go over and cut themselves. Show a blood agreement that they agreed to this agreement that they made. Well, listen, y'all are doing the same thing back here. In other words, he's making this here covenant that he gave from Mount Sinai, predicated based upon a death of an animal they had not seen, binding them to the law. It's like when Yahweh's Messiah is coming in, he's going to be the container from the blood is going to bind us to the new covenant. Same thing. This is confirmation. So after this was done, after you got binding for them, 13th day, he takes Aaron and everybody and said, "Go up in the mountain." And Joshua goes up with it. Joshua transfigured before. He's transfigured before. That's what they see up here in the mountain. We're going to get to that later on, more of that later on. So now, Moses now is in the camp. Well, that's not very specific. After they all of them seen that, then Yahweh invites Moses to come onto the top of the mountain. That's in 24, 12. That's when the invitation to come to the top of the mountain. When Moses comes to the top of the mountain. So Moses goes to the top of the mountain. Now here, he's going to the top of the mountain that evening. Cloud's going to turn into a pillar of fire, but he's into the mountain. And darkness, and now during that time, he's going to see the creation come in. So Moses is seeing the creation come in from 3 o'clock in the evening to 9 o'clock in the morning. See? And do 9 to 3 see the tabernacle. That's what we're trying to show on this chart here. That's what's being shown to him up here at the mount. See? And we had correlated the days of the creation with chapters 25, 26, 27, 28, all the way through to the 31st chapter. With the 6 days, the 7 days of Moses in the Mount of the creation. You all had that in mind, okay? Now, I get a question called out of Arizona. And they want me to, well, I think they've been talking to Tony and Mona, so I'm going over this thing. So they ask the questions now. See? But I didn't go with this with you also. Now they asked me to go so they have the information about this. So they want to know about the 4th, the 5th, and 6th day. See, so fourth day here, that's when you're out in the sun and sky and the moon starts in that. 5th day, puts the birds in the heavens, and they put the fish in the sea, and they put the amphibious plane in there too. You with those that live in the water and on land. And then you got birds that fly and go into the ocean. And we go into the sea, and you also have fish that fly come up.
The 5th day.
That's on the 5th day. So you got a separation there. The fish would be clip-winged birds, and the birds would be birds that fly. In the fish. So that the birds are more able to fly. Birds are able to fly in the atmosphere much more freer than a fish in the sea because it's bound by the sea. So you got them being shown, one showing them being in bondage to the flesh and one being bound to the spirit. Talk about birds. So now, on the in the 29th chapter of Exodus, you're going to be talking about here is where Yahweh is going to tell Moses about the offer of sacrifices. So once you understand a day of the creation with the chapter, you can tell what's going to be as you know what's in the creation, or vice versa. See, so you ever tell what's going to transpire. So that Yahweh is going to tell Moses. See. The priest brought forth a lamb in the morning, a lamb in the evening. Sacrifices of animals on that. That's when you got animals being shown to Moses in the creation on that 5th day.
But the animals aren't until the 6th day, though. The animals aren't.
What about birds? Are they animals?
Well, the birds.
What about the fish? Are they animals?
Well, birds and fish, but the
They're
animals.
all on the 5th day.
And I think that's where the little confusion is coming
Compare the day with the creation. Prepare the day with the event. The 5th day, he's showing the birds, the fish, and the amphibious plane. The birds, the animals that abide in both water and on land, like the frogs and your alligators and all those type of things. Now see, well, if you look at the drawings that's being drawn on, you see all these, the cabinets getting more and more complete.
Right.
As it gets down to the 6th and 7th day. So that's really what I'm trying to get across to you. You see that on the 6th day, on the 7th day, you'll see the whole tabernacle then, because this day is going to be completed, it's going to be a rest. So now on the 6th day is going to be when he makes the beast of the field. When he creates the man and the woman. Yes.
Can you go back to that 5th day? You said one time that Joshua, he's fulfilling that, and he's with John the Baptist, and the fish are in the water.
Yes, that's in the fulfillment.
As a fulfillment.
Haven't got down to that yet. See, I mean, I don't mind. I think that's all important. It's all important. It's true. See? Messiah had to do a lot of things during his 3.5 years on earth to fulfill 4,000 years of history. So a lot of things he did at one time, man, covered a number of things that you gotta go back and see and find. See, so so when we talk about the fifth day corresponds to the fifth age. So you all see, to be able to see that we do that. See, all this stuff ties together if you realize you always control, he's in control of heaven and earth. That's what the great scripture is. So now you see on this fifth day, see, the Messiah is born at the end of 4 days, and into the fifth day. He spent 33 and a half years into this fifth day. See, so now that means when that age ends, you're going to be stepping actually into the fifth age. And on the day of Pentecost, you have those that accept the Messiah, they're set free from the law.
Fifth dispensation.
Fifth dispensation, what I say?
You said age.
Age, well, that's right, I mean the fourth age, okay, correct, that's good. So the fifth dispensation, or the 5,000th year, I say it that way,
Right.
or the fifth day in chronological time. See, then you have them received on the day of Pentecost, when they received the Holy Spirit, they were set free, and those that kept the law, that they were still in bondage, or they were bound. They like the fish. So we see that being done in this fifth age. Now we're down to the 6th millennium, or the 6th dispensation. Now, in the 6th dispensation, you've got the beast, and you've got the man. You've got the
Beast understanding, the spiritual life, spiritual man.
the man being created and the beast of the field, corresponding to the man of sin or the satanic spirit, and then you've got the man, which talk about how the spiritual man is being created now. So we're those who believe in the Messiah, they make up the spiritual body of Yahshua Messiah, or in the sixth millennium. 6th millennium, 6th dispensation. So we can see that now we're in that age now. So we have this quote at 2. So that on the 6th day corresponds to what in Exodus? 30 chapter. How they get from the please, you don't have highest in your Bible.
30.
The 30th chapter of Exodus, what is he talking about in that chapter?
Altar of incense.
Yeah, the,
Altar of incense.
The altar of incense.
Raise the neighbor.
So when Yahweh makes the man, he breathes in his nostrils breath of life. That's the incense. Breathe. What else?
The shekel.
Second sanctuary. They say the second sanctuary.
Brazen neighbor.
What?
Brazen neighbor.
The brazen neighbor. After a child is born, he had to be washed up, cleaned up. In the 6th day, we're talking about 6th day of June, 6th day. See? He'll be cleaned up. And then you got the oil, right?
The holy anointing
The
oil.
holy anointing oil. Now somebody got that, came up with me on that one next.
And also the
Well, you
incense.
talk about the holy anointing oil. What about the oil they have there in the seventh chapter, in the 27th chapter of Exodus? When you told them to take the oil for the lamp. So you got oil for the lamp, you got oil for the incense. For the holy anointing oil. So you have holy anointing oil and oil for the lamp. There's 2 different oils. One for the lampstand, and one for that's going to be used for consecrating the priest and for the dedication of people. So you got 2 different situations there. When we deal with now this man on the last day, he's being brought forward, and Yahweh, that is his prime creation, the man. And the woman. I don't want to get in trouble. Now, so now a lot of times people don't think about, when you read Genesis, the first chapter, you don't think about Eve being in there. But it says he created both the man and the woman. But you don't have the details of what happened in that time. We went through that. Now on the seventh day he rested. You know, in the 31st chapter of Exodus, when he always goes over to Israel, goes over to Moses in the mountain, but by keeping the Sabbath day, in that 30th chapter of Exodus. 31st chapter, right, 31st. And then at the end of his community, in 7 days, he gives him the table of stone which he had written. So Moses comes down with the table of stone. But during that time is when they had built the golden calf. So Moses throws the table of stone down. What else did he do?
Ground it up.
He ground it up and what?
Made him drink it in the water. I mean,
He put it in the water and they had to drink it.
Right.
Okay. They're drinking the abomination that they had been disobedient.
Abomination.
Now, what happened? Now we're talking about now this is after the second trip in the mountain. See, he's seeing the creation, he's seeing the destruction, how to make the tabernacle and all that. When he comes down from the mountain, he's punishing people because they do the golden calf. And he goes and he cries before Yahweh for 40 days. See? Now, I'm talking about Yahweh. Now he's communing between Yahweh, on Israel's behalf. See? Exodus 32, 31, 32.
Exodus 32 and 31.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start at 33. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, Ye have sinned a great sin.
You have sinned a great sin. So he's talking about them building this golden calf. Read.
And now I will go up unto Yahweh.
Now you'll go up unto Yahweh.
Pre-adventure I shall make an atonement for your sin.
I will make an atonement for your sins. Read.
And Moses returned unto Yahweh and said, Oh, this people have sinned a great sin,
Mm-hmm.
and have made thee gods of gold. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written.
First time you hear him say anything about a book that Yahweh has written. So then you had to see it in the vision. So when he saw Yahweh Elohim, he saw Yahweh Elohim is just those names. So you pick up the book of life. He's the book of life. So he saw that. He saw people blotted out. Now he's on himself on the mercy of Israel, or for the mercy of Israel. Blot me out of the book which thou hast written. See? In other words, he was willing to die for their behalf, just like Joshua came in and died for Israel. Read on, please.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, Whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book.
Him will I blot out of my book. Read.
Therefore now go, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, mine angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when I will visit their sin upon them.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh plagued the people, because they made the calf which Aaron made.
Read on.
32nd chapter.
31?
33.
Okay, that's better.
And Yahweh said unto Moses,
Yahweh said unto Moses,
Depart, and go up hence, thou and the people which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt, unto the land which I swore unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, Unto thy seed I will give it.
mm-hmm.
And I will send an angel before thee.
I'm going to send an angel before you. Yahweh said that in the last part of that 32nd chapter. Say it again, now read on, read.
And I will drive out the Canaanite,
I will drive out the
and
Canaanites.
the Amorite, and the Hittite,
Mhm.
and the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. For I will not go up in the midst of thee, for thou art a stiff-necked people, lest I consume thee in the way.
Mhm.
And when the people heard these evil tidings, they mourned, and no man did put on his ornaments. For Yahweh had said unto Moses,
Mhm.
Say unto the children of Israel, Ye are a stiff-necked people.
Ye are a stiff-necked people, read.
I will come into the midst of thee in a moment,
You're going to come in the midst of them in a moment
and consume thee.
and consume them.
Therefore now put off thy ornaments from thee,
Mhm.
that I may know what to do unto thee.
Mhm.
And the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by Mount Oreb. And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp.
Okay, now, they brought this here tent they had in Egypt, about of Egypt. And this is the tent they put on the backside of the mountain. If you read about now, read on. I'm going to do a lot more detail than I have in the past. Just follow along with me, read.
And called it the tabernacle of the congregation.
You call it the tabernacle of the congregation.
And it came to pass that everyone which sought Yahweh went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation.
So you want to talk to Yahweh, go out to this tent and talk to Yahweh. So Yahweh's out there abiding in the tent. Read.
which was without the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when Moses went out in the tabernacle, that all the people rose up and stood every man at his tent door.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses and looked after Moses until he was gone into the
We
tabernacle.
did the Moses until he went into the tabernacle. Okay, read. Now, see, he's calling that tent the tabernacle.
Right?
You know, the tabernacle, they ain't built it. The tabernacle, Yahweh wanted, they ain't built it yet.
Right.
See? But this is happening, what we're talking about now, this is happening between the second and the third trip. What we're reading right now is going on between the second and the third trip. Read.
And it came to pass, when Moses went out in the tabernacle, the 9th verse, I'm sorry. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended.
Now, he went into the tabernacle, see, and the cloudy pillar descended. Read.
And stood at the door of the tabernacle.
Mhm.
And Yahweh talked with Moses.
So he's talking with Moses. Now, Yahweh's talking to Moses in the tabernacle. Read.
And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people rose up and worshipped,
Mm-hmm.
every man in his tent door.
Right.
And Moses spoke unto Yahweh, and Yahweh spoke unto Moses face to face,
Yahweh spoken to Moses face to face. Read.
as a man speaketh unto his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned again into the camp,
Moses turned again into the camp.
but his servant Joshua,
But his servant Joshua,
the son of Nun,
a young man,
a young man, departed not out of the
he
tabernacle.
didn't put out of the tabernacle. So he's been abiding in this tabernacle. See? Now, when Yahweh invited him up on that second trip, he went up with him into the mountain. This now, he's in the tabernacle, and he stays in the tabernacle. Read on, you gotta get the conversation now. Read.
12th verse.
Mhm.
And Moses said unto Yahweh,
And Moses said unto Yahweh,
See, thou sayest unto me, Bring up this people.
bring up this people.
And thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me.
Thou hast not let me know whom thou wast sent with me.
Yet thou hast said,
Yet thou hast
I
said,
know thee by name.
I know thee by name,
And thou hast also found grace in my sight.
and I found grace in thy sight. Read.
Now therefore I pray thee,
And Moses said, I pray thee,
if I found grace in thy sight,
if I found grace in thy sight,
show me now thy way,
show me now thy way,
that I may know thee,
that I may know thee,
that I may find grace in thy sight,
that I may find grace in thy sight.
and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said,
See what all Moses is requiring, what he's asking for?
sure.
See, he wants confirmation that Moses is with him. Read. Huh? That Joshua's with him, bro. Okay, read on.
And he said, My presence shall go with thee,
My presence should go with thee,
and I will give thee rest.
and I will give thee rest.
And he said unto him, If thy presence not go with me, carry us not up thence.
So he don't wanna go, he's not gonna be with them, read.
For wherewith shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight?
Mm-hmm.
Is it not in thou goest with us?
Is it not that thou goest with us?
So shall we be separated,
So should we be separated, yeah.
I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, I will do this thing also,
I will do this thing also, Yahweh's gonna make himself known to him, read.
also that thou hast spoken.
Mm-hmm.
For thou hast found grace in my sight,
Mm-hmm.
and I know thee by name. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory.
Now Moses said, now show me thy glory, read.
And he said, I will make all the goodness pass before thee,
I'm gonna make all my goodness pass before thee,
and I will proclaim the name of Yahweh before thee.
and I'm gonna proclaim the name of Yahweh before thee, read.
And will be gracious to whom I will be gracious,
And I will be gracious unto whom I will be gracious.
and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy.
And I will show mercy unto whom I will show mercy.
And he said, Thou cannot see my face.
But you can't see my face. Wait a minute, you just got to read about something face to face. Something I was strange about this here. See, read on.
For there shall no man see me and live.
So there shall no man see me and live. Read.
And Yahweh said, Behold, there is a place by me.
Now,
And
Elohim saying to Moses, now there's a place by me. See? And this is a conversation that happened inside the tent. Okay, read.
thou shalt stand upon a rock.
And thou shalt stand upon a rock,
And it came to pass, while my glory passed by,
and my glory is going to pass by.
that I will put thee in a cleft of the rock.
I will put thee in the cleft of the
And
rock.
I will cover thee with my hand while I pass by.
I will cover you with my hand as I pass by.
And I will take away my hand, and thou shalt see my back
You
part.
see my back part. Read.
But my face shall not be seen.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
34.
See, what I'm trying to do, this is all happening between the second and third trips. Okay? Now, yes,
He's telling this to him in the tent, right?
yes,
So he's basically telling him who he is, and Moses still isn't getting it. So he goes up to the mountain.
that's right.
How pretty.
You can't know till you
Till you're
Yeah.
get, see that sign, till you actually see the sign,
Yeah.
see, actually see the evidence.
prophesying. Mhm.
See?
And this is his angel, right?
Yeah. He's talking to the angel right there, but you don't know it yet.
Wow.
That's why Paul says, be careful how you entertain angels.
Mm, maybe.
For some, you might be entertaining angels on the work. The 13th chapter of Hebrews.
Hebrew.
We read.
Which brings me to this other question, when he says, you won't pardon their sins, why not? Because he pardons them after Pentecost, is that why? And back there it's not time or what?
I don't know where you coming from on that.
Exodus 31.
See, don't provoke people who are not part of
Oh, yeah, okay, well. Did he pardon when he go to Golden Calf?
No.
So he's not gonna pardon. He demonstrated what he's gonna do. He's doing it all the time. See? So he's demonstrating as you go through this book, he's demonstrating he will be for you or against you, based on you being obedient or disobedient. He's doing it all the way through. Now,
Is that Paul looking at that over in Hebrews, and he said, how they provoked him in the wilderness,
sure.
and they fell short, but
Right.
it was cut short, whatever.
Yeah,
They didn't enter into his rest.
Right, except, fourth chapter of Hebrews, right? In the rest, right? But still talking about giving rest. See? And they don't get rest when he goes into the kingdom, but they gotta go and fight all the nation up there. But when the Messiah comes in, he's gonna give them rest. See?
And then Paul also said, these things were for our admonition,
Before, right,
and for our, that we won't do the
same
same
thing.
thing.
But we do the same thing all the time.
So we gotta know what's in that one.
And when people turn away from that, you see what kind of trouble we got. Y'all want to see us ever go to LA? Well, it's
in that same question that was brought up, that angel wouldn't pardon their sin, but that's because the tabernacle hadn't been built yet either, right?
True, that's true, maybe, but we could.
Because there was no way for them to pardon sin.
No, that's right, good part, since the tabernacle was made, that's right.
Okay.
But there was some sin you paid for with your own life.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
That was
yeah,
one.
Yep. Hold it for you there. Exodus 40 and 30.
Exodus 40.
Go down to the 34th verse.
Exodus 40 and 34.
Mm-hmm.
Then a cloud covered the tent of the
Now,
congregation.
what we're talking about.
Right.
You gotta understand what we're talking about. The first verse,
Exodus 40 and 1.
40 and 1, read.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying,
Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying,
on the first day of the first month
on the first day of the first month.
shalt thou rear
What
up
day are we talking about?
April 1st.
April the 1st. Of what, read?
on the first day of the first month shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil.
So now, from what we're reading here now, is 9 months later.
Right.
Oh, the baby's being born.
Right.
Oh, the tabernacle.
Tabernacle. I'll stop on that one.
This
Well,
is amazing.
so what I'm trying to do, okay, when Moses goes up in the mount, the second trip he goes up in the mount, and he sees this earlier form, and Yahweh is beginning to show him about the creation. That's conception. We start seeing that tabernacle, that's conception.
That's when he first conceives it in his
The
mind.
first time he's showing to him about making the tabernacle. Conception. So now I'm going down to the end when the tabernacle was made. See? Okay, now read, please. Continue where you read that. In 24th chapter.
Verse 4. And thou shalt bring in the table and set in order the things that
Go down to 24, please. 34, 34, right.
Exodus 40 and 34.
Mm-hmm. So we read this whole tabernacle, put the course, it goes to that whole chapter is showing how to rear that tabernacle up. And this is 9 months from the time he went to the top on that second trip. Okay. Read.
Then a cloud covered the tent of the congregation,
Then the cloud covered the tent of the congregation,
and the glory of Yahweh filled the tabernacle.
and the glory of Yahweh filled the tabernacle. Read.
And Moses was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation.
What does that mean?
He was filled with the Spirit. And he couldn't even tell his own self what he was.
So what is the tabernacle?
Yahweh, the Spirit of Yahweh.
Elohim be with them.
Joshua, the inner man, was what entered in the tabernacle. Entered in the tabernacle. Okay? And that was what the high priest saw on our mercy seat. The inner man. Now go back over here and get this Exodus, where we got
Exodus
34,
Exodus 34 and 1.
right. I want to make sure we understand this though. See? You read that Moses left the tent, every community with Yahweh in the tent. That's up in the 12th verse, I believe it is. 33rd chapter. And it said that the young man stayed in the tabernacle. So he didn't come out of the tabernacle. See? Now 34,
and 1.
Uh-huh.
Exodus 34 and 1. And Yahweh said unto Moses, hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first.
Mm-hmm.
And I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables which thou breakest.
Read.
And be ready in the morning,
Be ready in the morning.
and come up in the morning
You
unto
come up in
Mount
the
Sinai,
morning unto Mount Sinai. Read.
and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount.
Mm-hmm.
And no man shall come up with thee,
No man shall come up with thee. Read.
neither let any man,
So it means he's going up there by himself this time. No man shall go up with him. Read.
neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount.
Mm-hmm.
Neither let the flocks nor herds feed before the mount.
Mm-hmm.
And he hewed 2 tables of stone like
And
unto the
Moses
first.
read, he hewed 2 tables of stone.
And Moses rose up early in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and went up into Mount Sinai, as Yahweh had commanded him,
Mm-hmm.
and took in his hand the 2 tables of stone. And Yahweh descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of Yahweh.
Now, he's in the top of the mountain. This is the 3rd trip, right?
Right.
What day?
September 1st.
September 1st. So what we've covered, when he's down at the bottom of the tap, down when he come down for the 2nd trip, things he did, building the altar and dedicated the people and all this he did there, and he built the Ark of the Covenant. And they went on, and they're still building things for the tabernacle. The tabernacle wasn't completed until 9 months later. 3 months later. So now, Joshua, the young man in the tent, didn't depart out. But this time, now Moses is going to the top of the mountain. So he knows his way now. Because he already showed him. See? But now, in the top of the mountain, read that last verse you just read.
Exodus 34 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of Yahweh.
See, well, now how did he get up there?
Cloud.
You said he took the
He's
other.
down here, ascending to the top of the mountain. So he went up on the elevator. The cloud is the elevator. Take him up in the cloud. So he goes up in the cloud. See? And stands by Moses. See? Moses still doesn't know who it is. Because he's passing by. Continue to read this little more. Let's read some more.
Verse 6. And Yahweh passed by before him,
Mm-hmm.
and proclaimed,
He proclaimed,
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Yahweh El, merciful and gracious.
That's the same thing he told there in the 3rd chapter. I'm going to stand by beside him and I'm going to proclaim the name of Yahweh. So all you do is carry it out now. Read.
Long-suffering,
Mm-hmm.
and abundant in goodness and truth,
Mm-hmm.
keeping mercy for thousands,
Keeping mercy for thousands.
forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin,
Mm-hmm.
and that by no means clearing the guilty,
Right, read.
visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children, unto the 3rd and to the 4th generation.
Read.
And Yahweh made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and worshiped.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, If now I have found grace in thy sight, O Yahweh, let my Elohim, I pray thee, go among us.
Mm-hmm.
For it is a stiff-necked people.
Mm-hmm.
And pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Behold, I make a covenant before all thy people.
Mm-hmm.
I will do marvels such as not have been done in all the earth,
Mm-hmm.
nor in any nation. And all the people among which thou art shall see the work of Yahweh. For it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee. Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land,
Mhm.
whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee.
Mhm.
But ye shall destroy their altars, break down their images, and cut down their groves.
Mhm.
For thou shalt worship no other El. For Yahweh, who is jealous of his name, is a jealous El. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their deities, and do sacrifice unto their deities, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. And thou shalt take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their deities, and make thy sons go a whoring after their deities. Thou shalt make thee no molten deities. The feast of unleavened bread thou shalt keep. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread, as I command thee, in the time of the month Abib. For in the month Abib thou camest out of Egypt. All that openeth the matrix is mine, and every firstling among the cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. But the firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb. If thou redeem him not, then thou shalt break his neck. All the firstborn of thy sons shalt thou redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 6 days shalt thou work, but on the 7th day thou shalt rest. In the plowing time and in harvest thou shalt rest. And thou shalt observe the feast of weeks, and of the firstfruits of feasts of wheat harvest, and of the feast of ingathering at the year's end. Thrice in the year shall all your male children appear before me, before Yahweh Elohim, the Elohim of Israel.
Let's play on
Verse 24.
Okay, I'm gonna read,
Verse 29.
I'm gonna read something about the creation, and talk about the creation in there.
No.
28, maybe 28 verse.
Try.
Verse 28. And he was with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights.
I thought he said something about the creation.
No.
He just tells them to write the words and
Yeah,
cover it.
when you talk about when it causes glory to pass by him, up in the 8 and 9 verse.
33:19.
34 and
34, I mean 34.
Yahweh passed by before the
6. And Yahweh passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh El, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth. Verse 4.
I was trying to get that some kind of confirmation
We're waking up in 5,
of,
where he passed by him,
where he passed by him, that's by him, which was seen.
6, but if you pick it up in 5, he proclaimed Yahweh's
Okay, what I'm trying to, I was trying to get where you can see a confirmation of him talking about the creation.
It's in 33:22. And it shall come to pass while my glory pass by.
That's just, he's been fulfilling it, you got to read it in the 34th chapter. You know, but he does say anything about the creation that he did.
33 and 20.
So, I got a question.
Okay.
So on the second trip, he doesn't get the tables of stone until the very end.
Right.
The third trip, he gets them right off the bat when he goes out September
Well,
1st.
after he gets to writing on this.
Right, yeah, so he gets them right away. And then after that is when he sees the repeat of the 6 days of creation, so the some of the things he left out. And then that's when he begins to see the genealogies.
Right.
And that's when he realizes that that's
Yeah,
Joshua.
I'm trying to get to that point.
Right.
I'm trying,
That's what you're trying to get.
I'm getting to that point, but I'm trying to get that creation in first, because I want to see the reason why the second chapter of Genesis is written.
Right.
See why he's on this third trip is when he gets the clarification. Well, Joshua brings back to your remembrance about what he left out in the first chapter of Genesis, and he's recorded that in the second chapter. So the second chapter, of course, is why Yahweh shows Moses in this third trip about the creation. all the way up to the transgression. See, and when you come down from the mountain, the second trip, he did not see the transgression. That's how come he waxed hot, because they built a golden calf. He had not seen that their foreparents were disobedient before. But now he's back up in the third trip, and he sees that transgression. So after he sees the creation again, and Yahweh tells about how he made the man, and how he read that in the second chapter, about how he caused the water, the earth to be watered, and all that. He showed that in the second chapter. The woman being taken out from the man, all that's been shown in the second chapter. Then he comes on down, and we read on down in Genesis, in the fifth chapter, it says, this is the book of Adam. I mean, the book of Adam. This is the book of Adam. So that when Adam was created, that he becomes a book, because he's made the likeness of Yahweh Elohim, you see now how that he's the book of life. Because now all the life is coming out of Adam and Eve now. So there's the book of the generation of mankind. So now Moses in the vision, he's seeing this. And he sees Yahweh Elohim talking to Adam. I said he's seeing Yahweh Elohim talking to Adam. Which is causing him to see Oshia. So every time he's seeing Yahweh Elohim talking to Noah, Yahweh Elohim talking to Abraham, he's seeing Oshia talking to him in the vision. And this is making him be aware of who the angel is going to go before. So this is where he's now able to point out. So when he comes down from the mount, he's able to identify him as being an Oshia, Numbers 13 and 8 and 13 and 16.
Numbers 13 and 8.
Oh, this is supposed to already. Go ahead.
Numbers 13 and 8. Of the tribe of Ephraim, Oshia, the son of Nun.
Of the tribe of Ephraim, Oshia, the son of Nun. Now, Oshia is what they knew him when he came out of the land of Egypt, as Oshia. See? Okay, read.
Verse 16. These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses called Oshia, the son of Nun, Yahoshua.
Yahoshua. Now see here, back here you're talking about Joshua back here, Oshia is back here. See? And you have to see this Oshia that you're talking about is actually Joshua. Joshua and they do one and the same actually. But now we're talking about now to get to back what I'm trying to show you here. Joshua in the tent. When Moses goes up the mountain this third time, the inner man, the physical man stayed in the tent. The inner man went into the cloud, and Moses is seeing him, and he's talking to him in the cloud. That's what Yahweh Elohim talking to him. That's the inner man. That's the same thing that they're going to see when they go into the tabernacle on the 10th day of October. See? Now, he's seeing all this in this third trip now, he's seeing this. When he comes at the end of the 40 days, if he went in on September 1st, 40 days later it's going to be October the 10th, Day of Atonement. And boom, he sees, and then now he has fully become knowledgeable of who Joshua is. Yeah. That's why he's lit up. Because now it's been revealed to him who the angel is that's going to go before him. He's able to point him out as being Oshia. It's like John, when you have seen the dove descending upon Yahweh, he's able to point out that's the name of Yahweh. This is tied together now. So now, I'm going to go back to some I'm going to tie in that, and my wife was my teacher the other night. We have some of these days of the creation come in. The night and day, night and day, night and day. See? Give me Psalms 19 and 1.
Psalm 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of El,
It said, the heavens declare the glory of El,
and the firmament showeth his handiwork.
and the firmament shows his handiwork.
Day unto day it uttereth speech,
Day unto day uttereth speech.
and night unto night showeth knowledge.
So now when Moses up in the mountain in the darkness, Yahweh showed him the creation. See? And it showed forth knowledge. And in the day, see, Yahweh showed him and gave him understanding. So you see, that day and night is causing him to become aware of Yahweh's presence and Yahweh's creation at the same time. See, that's what we're going to tie that in. So we see the day and night he showed forth his
He was saying, let there be light, he's speaking, and then showing the tabernacle.
right.
Knowledge.
So you are seeing that from the creation now, you ever see, now, if the scientists were able to come to understand what's really being shown to Moses, they would have a much better grasp of what's going on in the world and what's happening with man, peace, and everything. They understood this. See? And yet they are forced at times to go back to the Bible to come up with how to deal with things. Remember when they sent these rockets in the air when they go and intercept the show up there in the sky. So they have to keep in account how to calculate the travel of the spaceship all the way up to the satellite. See, and they have to go back and get the time. We're about time in Corey with the time I have in the scripture about it. See, about
Joshua said, stand still.
Joshua told the sun to stand still. See, and they obeyed his voice. To stand still, and see, until they won the battle. Then, like in other words, I'm talking about Joshua having the power. See, these are things that cause you to know that this Joshua is the creator of heaven and earth. And this is one that was manifested back there with Moses, all the way down to the prophets. See, on down to even to the Father coming to us and telling us these things. We able to see that spirit that was in him caused him to be able to understand what Moses saw, because he saw what Moses saw. You understand what John saw, but he saw what John saw. And that gave him a complete panoramic vision of the whole Bible. Therefore, he's able to come and explain to us why these things are, see? Now.
You take a question?
Yes.
When Aaron, Nadab, and Abiram and 70 elders went up to the mountain, and they saw the Elohim, is that the glorified body?
Mm-hmm.
It is? So,
That's actually the inner man.
What?
The inner man.
The inner man. Because when we went there over there in the 33rd chapter, where he was speaking face to face in the tent, that's the physical man Joshua,
Right.
and there we just mentioned just a minute ago. But then when we say he's spoken face to face, that you cannot see my glory pass by, isn't then that the glorified body that was up there in the mountain back in the 24th chapter? Why when?
It's the same one, but just actually talking about the spiritual body. It's not talking about the physical body. It's talking about a
Right.
spiritual body.
There, well, you can't
That's
see
the
my
inner
face.
man.
What's the actual question?
The question is that glorified body that Moses, that he can't see Moses, he can't see the face of the glorified body of, there in the, what is it, 33rd chapter, it says you can't see my face,
Yeah, right.
that you're gonna see my hinder parts, right?
Right.
So, that's the glorified body that also was up there in the mount, in the
You see
24th
it?
chapter.
You see that?
But he won't show him, but Moses did see it. That
Read
glor-
it for me.
read what?
He saw
Those
it.
back parts.
Yeah, but then, so in the 24th chapter, they said they did see Elohim
They
and
did see young man, but it didn't describe his face.
no,
Was
they
his
didn't.
body?
He saw his body. Yes.
All right.
You know, Dr. Kennedy used to put that together, showing that he saw his hinder part.
All
But
right.
then after it's revealed, and John on the Isle of Patmos,
Yeah,
Right.
I'm
looking
coming-
back,
that's
first,
what- that's what I'm going to.
in his
Yes,
face.
he saw his coming in.
So after Moses sees him walking away from him,
Can you probably
all
get
he
to that?
sees is he only sees his back part. See? here's John, he got to be on the outer path to see him walking to him. So when John turns around and he sees him walking in the midst of seven golden lampstands, that's when he describes his face of his hair, white as wool, and eyes of flame of fire, and describing this what he said in the first chapter of Revelation.
So the 74 people then see the actual, they just knew it was a realistic form, but didn't see a face, right? Because it's not described there,
Right.
because no man can see that.
Right.
At that.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Not revealed, not revealed happened.
Gotcha. Okay.
Revelations 10:1. We're gonna go 2 more minutes. Wow.
And then we're gonna, did you get about the rod
Huh?
in the congregation, the tent of the congregation? Did you ever get to that? Where they put all the rods, the 12 tribes in front of the
Yeah.
You
But
did?
you saw the 10 of the congregation?
Yeah, the tent of the where they put all the 12 rods to bud before the Ark of the Covenant, or the Ark of the Testimony, but there was no tent that.
The tabernacle had not completely been, you know,
Did you ever get there? Everybody's saying yes. I must have missed it.
Because
You said you were gonna get there later.
well,
missed it.
okay, the timing is where I have a problem with right now.
Oh, okay.
As to where,
Yeah, that's fine.
that was done after the third trip, but I haven't been able to pinpoint a time I can actually
Well,
say they
everybody-
did this,
everybody
I
said
try
no.
to get the point. He's asking about when did they lay the rods before y'all.
Because we read it.
See, I already pointed out that the 8th of April report that came up after the third trip.
Right.
And shortly thereafter, that's when Yahweh had to separate the tribes from the tribe of Levi from the rest of the tribes. And it says that they laid them up before the Ark of the Covenant.
The tent of the congregation,
Tent of the
before the
Covenant.
testimony.
That would be all. That would be the sanctuary you're talking about. The sanctuary is the testimony. Is the tent of testimony. And the tent of the congregation is the most holy place and the holy place of the tabernacle. That's what that actually is.
But it's not built at that time that they put the rods in.
But I'm not sure I can answer that question that way now. But I haven't found a way to pinpoint the
All right, so
time
I
that
just
this
wondered
occurred.
if I missed something.
Time that this occurred.
Thank you.
I don't know I can't pinpoint I was trying to find a way to pinpoint a time
That's fine.
or a date. And based on my church, I did since Friday, I didn't find a date
That's fine.
or a time.
I'm good with that.
John, Revelations,
Yeah.
10, you want to go, just take it up, I don't have time for anything else right now.
Revelation 10:1.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head.
Mm-hmm.
And his face was as it were the sun, and his feet had as pillars of fire.
Mm-hmm.
And he had in his hand a little scroll,
Now, he had in his hand a little scroll.
open,
Open.
and he set his right foot upon the sea.
Now, let's see if we make some sense of this. In the 5th chapter, you had a book that was closed and sealed with 7 seals. 6th chapter, they opened the seals. So now in the 10th chapter, you got a scroll and it was open. Okay? And this scroll that we're talking about, this closed and open, is the law and the prophets. Had not been, before Pentecost, it was not known what it all meant. Because they then understood the law and prophets testified of the Messiah and the message of Yahweh. Okay, continue reading now.
And he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot upon the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and cried with a loud voice.
He says left foot on what?
And his left foot on the earth.
His left foot was on the earth. Read. His right foot where?
on the sea.
And the right foot was on the sea.
And he
So we're
cried,
talking about land, and we're talking about sea. Okay? Now you can see right away he was no small man. This is an angel. This is an angel. See, he said he saw that. Okay, read on.
and cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth.
It's when the lion roared. Read.
And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices.
Okay, now he's got his man, his feet upon land and one on sea. Where's John at? He's on the Isle of Patmos. What Yahweh told him to do?
Right, what he said.
What he sees, when he sees right in the book and says the 7 assemblies.
Right.
So he's got to go from this land, he got to go over the sea to get to them. See? Land and sea, you got to, this has got to go over land and sea to get to the people there, for them to read or be able to understand it. See? Read on, see what it says now. It says, they started heard the 7 thunders.
And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write.
I was about to write. Now remember, he told him to write down what he sees, right? Now he's getting ready to write down what read.
And I heard a voice from heaven,
He heard a voice to him.
saying unto me,
Say that name.
seal up those things
Seal up those things,
which the 7 thunders uttered,
which the 7 thunders uttered,
and write them not.
and write them not. Now when Yahweh showed it to Moses up in the mount, and Yahweh said, let there be. That's the first thing. First thing, divide the light from the darkness. Second thing, cause the waters above and waters beneath. That's him divide. Those are the thunders that that John is seeing in the vision. Yahweh created the creation. The 7 thunders are their voice. Those are the 7 days of the creation that Moses recorded. So then the angel tells him, don't write them now. Why? Because they've already been written. So don't write them now. Did you have a question? Okay, read on then. Go ahead.
And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven.
Now look what's happened. So you understand what I'm. He's got this only heard 7 thunders out of their voice. Now he said he saw the angels was put on the land upon the sea, put his hands in the heaven, right reading.
And swear by him that liveth forever and
And
ever,
swear by him that liveth forever and ever,
who created heaven
who created heaven
and the things that are therein,
and the things that are therein,
and the earth
and the earth.
and the things that therein are, and the sea and the things which are therein.
You know, he said all about the creation, right? Because that's what he saw. The 7 thunders, where he saw the things in heaven and the earth, the things in the sea and in the air. Read.
That there should be time no longer.
It'll be time, no, so sometime longer it's going to be all done away with. Read.
But in the days of the voice of
In
the
the days of
seventh
the voice of
angel,
the 7th angel,
when he shall begin to
when he
sound,
shall begin to sound,
the mystery of Yahweh should be finished,
the mystery of Yahweh shall be finished.
as he hath declared to his servants the prophets.
Now, when Dr. King came to us and opened up all these mysteries that we've been sharing with you, these mysteries up. I mean, we got a lot of mysteries. So you can go take your Bible, go talk to some of these ministers, they don't know nothing about what you're talking about. See? But these are mysteries that Yahweh allowed us to see and allowed us to understand. See? And then he poured out the mystery of iniquity. See, all of that was done, and then, listen, and as he was the voice of the 7th angel. Come down at the end of this age now to tell us about these mysteries from Genesis all the way through Revelation. And he's making them known by showing how the Bible is put together in a fashion whereby you and I can have some confidence. Yes, Yahweh does exist. Yes, he does have a perfect plan. And he's carrying it out his own will. You can't go say, no, I don't think you want to do that this way. You went back there to begin to tell him what to do in the first place. You sit there and enjoy the ride. Look at the show. See, now you become aware of it. Now all you do is watch the show. See, I think it's going to happen about such and such time. We're not going to worry about that. See, are you ready? Are you ready to make the change for mortality and immortality? That's what you want to be. That's what you want to be prepared for. See, yes, Charles.
When, in the past, after he comes down, when you've gone over, after he comes down from the 3rd trip, that's October 10th. September 1st.
Yeah.
Okay, so the tabernacle's not completed yet, but, so there's no Day of Atonement that's being celebrated
No,
at that point.
that's right. That's
But did you at one time, you just make mention of it,
right. Yeah, they mentioned it,
that
right?
it's October 10th,
October 10th, right?
Day of Atonement.
They haven't had,
The tabernacle's not reared up yet, it's not
well,
completed,
okay.
but there's some significance, isn't there?
Well, the significance is that this Day of Atonement was when the high priest was in the most holy place.
Right, I know
That's
that.
the Yahweh was revealed to him, to the high priest.
Right,
He
right.
didn't know that he had completed all his sins.
But that, the first Day of Atonement hadn't been celebrated yet.
Yes.
No, it hasn't
This was
been-
things they couldn't do until they went.
We couldn't do it until they had the tabernacle set up.
It's just that he came down and it was October 10th.
He came down that day, the people were afraid of him, because he shone.
Right.
They moved back from him, and this is true, he put a veil over his face, see, until he went into the presence of Yahweh, took the veil off and went into the presence of Yahweh, because he was one with Yahweh. See, then put that veil on and go out and talk to the people. That's the way he interacted with the people there. See, during that time. See? Now, as he did that, see, he's making himself known to the man. Moses now is aware of who Joshua is.
Right.
See? And therefore, you find, this,
So that would correlate kind of like the flashing of the Shekinah, because.
for sure, that's right, it would, because his face shone. That's
Right,
right.
right.
That's right, on June the 10th, on that September, October the 10th,
Right,
illumination.
right.
This, when you, your Pentecost, or your Day of Atonement comes, when you're going to understand the message of Yahweh. That's when your Pentecost will come. And it does not come on any particular day, it could be any time. Sit in your seat right now. Yahweh can reveal or make you know the mission of Yahweh to you. And you start seeing these missions come to pass, come to light. Then you understand. See, that's it, that takes you, so you can't get into the holy place. You can't get into the holy place. So until you accept the blood, death of the Messiah, the burial, the resurrection, and ascension. When you're in the holy place, you're now able to be enlightened, to be able to bear life, and you also be an intercessor. Now remember, the veil's moved out of the way, so now you're well in the presence of Yahweh. Now you're in the presence of Him right now. See, that should cause you then to walk right before Yahweh and before men, regardless. Because now you're in the presence of Him. See? And once you've been in the presence of Him, then that should make you a new creature in Yahshua's sight. Folks, you got some more to say?
Okay, Joseph, you're that heavy duty lecturer. Let's all stand and be dismissed. Now to him is able to keep you from falling and present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise Elohim our Savior, through Yahshua Messiah our Sovereign, belong glory, majesty, dominion, and power, both before all time, now and ever, in this all